Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about liquidator's final statement of account. So first of all, what do you mean by liquidation? Liquidation is nothing but it is a process of winding up of the company. It's a part of dissolution of a firm. So why company comes to an end? Suppose if it meets its specific purpose, then company comes to an end. If company's member becomes insolvent, then also company comes to an end. Whenever the company comes to an end, its assets are realized and liabilities are paid off. So for this purpose, one special person is appointed. That person is known as liquidator. So who is a liquidator? So liquidator is a person who undertake to realize the assets of the company and to distribute the proceeds to the right claimants. So that person is known as liquidator. So now we need to know what are the modes or types of winding up. So modes of winding ups basically by the tribunal. Tribunal means through the court order. So it is also known as compulsory winding up. If company becomes insolvent, then it is compulsory winding up. So what do you mean by voluntary winding up? Voluntary winding up means it is as per their wish. Suppose specific objective is achieved, or suppose company is formed for the specific duration. In that case, company is wound up voluntarily with the consent of all the members of that company. So that is known as modes of winding up. There are basically main two types, tribunal and by voluntary winding up. Next thing you need to see is that liquidator's final statement of account. Once the company is wound up, liquidator is appointed to carry out the proceeds. So what and all he has to do? He has to realize the assets and calculate the amount available or surplus available and distribute that amount among the right claimants. That is various type of shareholder like creditors and all he has to distribute. So now liquidator's final statement of account is nothing but it is one kind of cash book. So cash book, if you see, there is a receipt side and there is a payment side also. So now the receipt side, here there is cash or bank balance and assets realized and surplus from secured creditor and contributories. So contributories, whenever there is a calls in advance or calls in arrears, in that case what happens, it comes here. Calls in arrear information comes here, contributories. Suppose if there is any partly paid shares and if you convert them into fully paid share, then also contributory adjustment will be there. So that is one thing. And what do you mean by surplus from secured creditor? Suppose securities are held with the secured creditor itself and he realized the asset, and after taking his amount, whatever the due, remaining amount so that secured creditor will give to the liquidator. That amount is known as surplus from secured creditor. Then payment side, if you see secured creditor, and as per this format itself, you have to solve the problem. So this is a specific format of this is a specific order in which a liquidation procedure take place. So secured creditor first comes the payment side, then legal charges is there, then liquidators remuneration. Remuneration either it is fixed or it is based on certain kind of percentage. Then liquidation expenses, then debenture holder having floating charges over the all type of assets, and debenture holders always paid along with the interest due, if any, up to the date of specific payment or up to the date of winding up. Then there is a preferential creditor. They have priority over all type of creditor. Then unsecured creditor. Usually in the problem, it is a balancing figure. After doing all the adjustment, remaining amount is transferred to unsecured creditor. And there is a preference shareholder. They need to be paid in priority over equity shareholder. And final equity shareholder is there. So this is the format of liquidator's final statement of account. And now next thing we need to see is that how to calculate liquidator's remuneration. So if the amount available is sufficient to make the full payment to the unsecured creditor, so that means here amount available is sufficient means what? Whatever the amount given in the balance sheet, and whatever the amount you have got while solving the sum, that is a balancing figure of unsecured creditor. That means amount given in the balance sheet is 1 lakh, and balancing figure you got is 1,25,000. That means that amount is more than the original amount, that is old balance sheet amount. In that case, what happens? Here amount available is sufficient to make the full payment to unsecured creditor, because you have 1,25,000, you need to pay only 1 lakh. So 25,000 excess you have. In that case, what is the procedure? Suppose in the problem they have mentioned liquidator remuneration on the basis of certain percentage of the amount given to the unsecured creditor. In that case, amount available into percentage of commission divided by 100. Suppose percentage of commission is 2 and amount is 20,000, 20,000 into 2 by 100. Then liquidator's remuneration, if the amount available is not sufficient to make full payment of unsecured creditor. Suppose balance given in the balance sheet or in the problem is 1 lakh and balancing figure you got is 80,000. Here, in this case, you have only 80,000, but you need to pay 1 lakh. Here, amount given is not sufficient to make the full payment to the unsecured creditor. In this case, there is certain adjustment. Amount available into percentage of commission divided by 100 plus percentage of commission. So this is a formula. Basically, suppose if there is a 2% of commission, amount available into 2% divided by 100 plus 2%, that is 102. So 20,000, suppose if it is the amount is 20,000, 20,000 into 2 divided by 102. So that is one more thing. And next thing comes is preferential creditor. So what do you mean by preferential creditor? So preferential creditor have priority over all types of creditor already told, and in these various types are there. Overriding preferential payment. Basically, overriding preferential payment includes workman's due and debt to secured creditor. Suppose any debt is given to the secured creditor and any due or any payment is not made to the workman, that and all comes in overriding preferential payment. Then preferential payment, one more thing is preferential payment, like wage and salary to the employees in respect of service rendered to the company. And one thing you need to remember, whenever it comes to the wages and salaries to the employee, due for the period not exceeding 4 months within the period of 12 months up to rupees 20,000. That means up to the period of 4 months, it is considered as it is preferential, and above the period of 4 months, then it is considered as unsecured. So suppose there is a salary is due for 6 months, 4 months is preferential, 2 months is unsecured, and officer due got no priority in payment. That means what? Officer's due is always considered as unsecured. Now, after seeing the theory part, we need to apply this theory part while solving the problem. So 6-mark problem we will discuss right now. So first you see this 6-mark problem. Aroma Limited went into voluntary liquidation. Following was its position. Assets realized was 4 lakh, excluding the security given to the secured creditors. Share capital 1 lakh, secured creditors 35,000, securities realized is 45,000, preferential creditor 10,000, unsecured creditor 1,50,000, debenture having floating charges on assets, that is 2,50,000, liquidation expenses 500, liquidators remuneration is 10,000, prepare liquidators final statement of account allowing for remuneration at 2% on the amount realized and 2% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditor other than preferential creditor. See, here they have mentioned other than preferential creditor, unless and otherwise stated in the problem. Unsecured creditor means preferential creditor also. But in this problem, they have specifically mentioned preferential creditor while calculating the remuneration you should not consider. So how to solve this problem? First, you prepare liquidator's final statement of account. Do the format, that is receipt side, receipt and amount, that is debit side, and credit side, payment and amount. Now you see only receipt side information. First thing comes is cash and bank. In this problem, they have not mentioned about cash and bank, so cash and bank is nil. Then assets realized. Assets realized if you see, they have given 4 lakh, excluding the securities given to the secured creditor. So what do you mean by that? Here securities are with the secured creditor and it is assumed that it is realized by the secured creditor itself. When the securities are with them and realized by the secured creditor itself, only the surplus amount is transferred to liquidator. So that surplus amount comes under note 3, that is receipt side surplus from secured creditor. You need to enter that amount, and in the payment side secured creditor you need to show as nil. So this is one basic adjustment. So if you see now, assets realized directly given in the problem 4 lakh, surplus from secured creditor. Here security realized is 45,000, secured creditor due is 35,000. So there is an excess amount of 10,000. So that you need to show the receipt side. Contributor is, as there is no other adjustment, there is no contributory, it is treated as nil. Now you go for payment side. Payment side, there is a secured creditor. So I already explained secured creditor is nil, and now legal charges, that is also not given in the problem, nil. Liquidators remuneration. What about liquidators remuneration? Here two types of adjustment. Liquidators remuneration. First, it is fixed kind of remuneration is given in this problem, that is 10,000. So directly you enter 10,000 as a liquidators remuneration fixed 10,000. Then 2% remuneration on the assets realized. So 2% on assets realized. So once you do the working note, the calculation of liquidators remuneration fixed 10,000 on assets realized 4 lakh plus 4 lakh plus 45,000. See, again, securities realized 45,000. You need to consider it is with the secured creditor, but the total assets realized we want. So 4 lakh plus 45,000, you will get 4 lakh 45,000, and percentage of commission, that is 2%. 4 lakh 45,000 into 2 by 100, that is 8,900. On assets realized 8,900. Next is amount to unsecured creditor. On the amount given to unsecured creditor, also you need to calculate this commission or liquidators remuneration. That will leave it as it is for the time being. Next, you go for liquidation expenses. Liquidation expenses 5,000 given. Debenture having floating charges on assets. So debenture having floating charges on assets, see that is 2,50,000 given. Preferential creditor. Preferential creditor 10,000, that is also mentioned. Unsecured creditor, we don't know the amount, leave it as it is. Preference shareholder nil, and equity shareholder also nil, because there is no payment to the preference shareholder as well as equity shareholder. So now you need to calculate the liquidator's remuneration on the amount realized to unsecured creditor. How to calculate? First, you see the receipt side. On the amount to unsecured creditor other than preferential creditor, that is given in the problem. So 4,10,000 is the receipt side total. 4,10,000 minus all the payment side information, that is 10,000 minus 8,900 minus 500 minus 25 2,50,000 minus 10,000. You will get 1,26,100 minus all these information. You will get 1,26,100, and you don't know this amount, unsecured creditor amount you don't know. Now that you will get, after doing all the adjustment, you will get unsecured creditor as a balancing figure. So 1,26,100 into 2 by 102. Why here 2 by 102? I will tell you. First, you see the unsecured creditor given in the problem, that is 1,50,000. Now you have got the amount 1,26,100, which is less than the original amount. So you have not sufficient amount to pay off the unsecured creditor. In that case, as a rule, that is 2 by 102. So amount available into percentage of commission divided by 100 plus percentage of commission. In that case, that is 2,473 will be the amount to unsecured creditor as a liquidator's remuneration. So enter this amount here. Now you can easily calculate final balancing figure, that is unsecured creditor, receipt minus payment side, all the adjustment you minus, or else directly from 1,26,100 minus 2,473, you will get 1,23,627 as unsecured creditor. And if you want to see the amount per share, 1,23,627 divided by the original amount, that is unsecured creditor, 1,50,000, you will get 0.82 per share. So this is how you are going to calculate the liquidator's final statement of account 6-mark problem. It is very easy problem you can do on your own. So now next is second problem, Unfortunate Limited. Unfortunate Limited went into liquidation when its liabilities were as under secured creditor, that is 2 lakh, differential creditor 40,000, and unsecured creditor 5 lakh. Liquidator realized 2,50,000 from the securities held by the secured creditor and 60,000 from other asset. Here, in the previous problem, what happened? Securities are with the secured creditor and realized by the secured creditor itself. But in this problem, securities are with the secured creditor but realized by the liquidator. That is the difference. And cash in hand amounted to 11,000. Cost of liquidation amounted to 19,900. And liquidator's remuneration was fixed at 3% on the amount realized except cash. So whenever you are going to calculate amount realized, you are excluding the cash, and 2% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditor. Here they have not mentioned other than preferential creditor. So that means what? Unsecured creditor includes preferential creditor. Now you need to prepare liquidator's final statement of account. So do the format liquidator's final statement of account, receipt, amount, and payment and amount. So first you see the receipt side, cash and bank information given in the problem. 11,000, so directly enter 11,000. Assets realized. Assets realized also directly given. Liquidator realized 2,50,000 from security and 60,000 from other assets. So total assets realized is 3,10,000. Surplus from secured creditor is nil here. Why? Because here securities are realized by the liquidator. Whenever the securities are realized by the liquidator, in that case, what happens here? Surplus from secured creditor, you will treat it as nil, and contributor is anyways there is no information about contributory, it is nil. Now you go for payment side. Payment side, secured creditor information directly given in the problem, that is 2 lakh. The secured creditor 2 lakh, that is given. Legal charges, no information about legal charges, so it is nil. Liquidators remuneration. Next thing is about liquidators remuneration. For this you need to do working note. Calculation of liquidators remuneration. So how to calculate liquidators remuneration? On assets realized except cash. So assets realized only, that is 3,10,000 into 3%, that is given in the problem. 3%, see, so 3,10,000 into 3%, 9,300. So on assets realized value is 9,300. On amount distributed to unsecured creditor. So this will come later. Now next, liquidation expenses. These two leave it as it is. Preferential creditor and unsecured creditor. Liquidation expenses directly given in the problem, 19,900. Debenture holders. What about debenture holders? No information. Nil. Preferential creditor. Preferential creditor is also mentioned in the problem, 40,000. So directly enter 40,000. Unsecured creditor in this problem will be the balancing figure. So leave it as it is. Preference shareholder and equity shareholder information is not given in the payment information is not given in the question, so that also will leave it as it is. Now go for working note 2 on the amount distributed to unsecured creditor, which includes preferential creditor unless and otherwise stated, as I already told earlier. So on preferential creditor information, you know, 40,000, 40,000 into 2 by 100. Why here you are taking 2 by 100 and not 2 by 102? Because that adjustment or rule is applicable only for unsecured creditor payment and not for preferential creditor. So it is 2 by 100. You will get 800. And on unsecured creditor, how you are going to calculate? As I told earlier, that is receipt minus payment side information, all the payment side information. That is 3,21,000 total receipt minus payments at secured creditor, on asset realized 9,300, on preferential creditor 800, minus 19,900, minus preferential creditor 40,000. This amount you don't know, you will get unsecured creditor amount after calculating all the adjustment. So now unsecured creditor, one amount you will get 51,000. 51,000 into 2 by 102, you will get commission as 1,000. So final unsecured creditor, that is 51,000 minus 1,000, that is 50,000 as a balancing figure. So this is how you are going to calculate. So total of the both the side, receipt side as well as the payment side, that is 3,21,000. So this is a 6 mark problem. We have discussed all types of 6 mark problem, and a few very basic problem also comes from the point of view of examination, and that you can do very easily if you know this type of problem. So next we are going to discuss 12 mark problem. Following was the balance sheet of Good Luck Limited as on 31st March 2016. Liabilities, amount and asset side also format is given. Share capital 20,000 shares of 10 each. Directly given, that is 2 lakh. Bank overdraft. See, bank overdraft is always unsecured 1,100. Partly secured creditor. Partly secured creditor is 29,180. Salary for 6 months, that is 6,300. Tax due to government, that is 800. And trade creditors, that is 97,600. Asset side, goodwill, building, machinery, stock, debtors, cash, and profit and loss account information is given. So now you see the adjustment. The company went into liquidation and assets were realized as follow. Building was used in the first instance to pay the partly secured creditor on pro rata, that is 18,000, machinery 25,000. So basically these are realized amounts. Machinery 25,000, debtors 43,500, stock 31,000. Expenses of liquidation amounted to 1,100 and liquidators remuneration was agreed to pay at 3% on the amount realized except cash and 2% on the amount paid to unsecured creditor other than preferential creditors. To prepare liquidator's final statement of account. So first thing you need to see here that unsecured creditor information is not given in this question. So here there are mixture of preferential creditor as well as unsecured creditor. So first you need to bifurcate between those two. So first working note you have to do is calculation of preferential creditor as well as unsecured creditor. So bank overdraft specifically given in the problem, that is unsecured creditor. So just write it under the column unsecured creditor 1,100. Partly secured creditor. So for partly secured creditor, if you see liability side, they have given 29,180 as partly secured creditor, but there is an adjustment of building. Building was used to pay in first instance to partly secured creditor on pro rata, that is 18,000. So once the building is utilized to pay the secured creditor, remaining amount which is not paid is treated as unsecured creditor. So how to do the calculation? 29,180 minus 18,000. Remaining amount goes to unsecured creditor and preferential creditor is nil. Then what about salary? Salary due for 6 months 6,300 given. What is the rule? Up to 4 months it is preferential, up to 20,000 it is preferential, and above that it is unsecured creditor. So that is salary 6,300 into 4 by 6, 4,200 is preferential creditor, and 6,300 into 2 by 6, that is remaining amount, that is unsecured creditor. Tax due to government, of course, it is to be paid before making any other payment. So it is preferential creditor 800, trade creditor. Trade creditor, anyways, it is unsecured creditor directly given in the question 97,600. So once you now you make the total of preferential creditor. Preferential creditor total 4,200 plus 800, 5,000, and unsecured creditor total 1,11,980. So this is the working note number 1. Now you prepare liquidator's final statement of account. So receipt side, first information, cash and bank. Cash and bank information given in the problem. What is the cash and bank information? Whether it is mentioned in the problem. Just you look at the problem once. Cash and bank is 500. Whether it is given in the problem. Yes, cash and bank information given in the problem asset side, that is 500. So write directly cash and bank 500. Assets realized. Assets realized building, machinery, stock, debtor. Everything is given in the adjustment. So directly you enter that amount here. Assets realized total 1,17,500. Surplus from secured creditor is nil, because here securities are not with the secured creditor. Contributor is also nil. There is no other adjustment. Now you go for payment side. Secured creditor. Secured creditor, building is utilized to pay off the partly secured creditor. So secured creditor in the amount is 18,000 because it is paid. So you have to enter in payment side. Legal charges, no other information. So nil. Liquidators remuneration. For this you need to do one working note. So calculation of liquidators remuneration, 3% on the assets realized. So building, machinery, debtors and stock, except cash, you have to take the amount. So 1,17,500 into 3%, 3,525. So on assets realized, 3,525 will be the answer, 3,525. And 2% on the unsecured creditor, that we'll see later. Liquidation expenses directly given 1,100, debenture holder nil, preferential creditor information. Working note number one, preferential creditor total, that is 5,000. So 5,000 you are going to write it here. Unsecured creditor balancing figure in this problem, that we will see later after doing all the adjustment. Preference shareholder nil, equity shareholder nil. Such because there is no payment shareholders. So now you need to see 2% to unsecured creditors. So again go for calculation of liquidators remuneration. 2% on the amount paid to unsecured creditor. Receipt minus payment, 1,18,000 total of the receipt side minus payment side, that is 27,625. Or deduct all this amount excluding unsecured creditors, because this amount is still not gone. So 90,375 into 2 by 102, 1772, 1,772 will be the liquidators remuneration on unsecured creditor. Now you can easily calculate the balance available for the unsecured creditor, that is 90,375 minus 1772, or else receipt minus payment side, final balancing figure 88,603. So this is how we are going to solve the 12 mark problem. So this is a very basic problem with some adjustments. So you can easily solve this type of problems if it comes for the examination. So now we are going to see 24 marks problem. The summarized balance sheet of Matthew Co. Limited as on 31st March 2015, being the date of voluntary winding up, is as under. Liability side, 10,000, 12% cumulative preference shares of 100 each, that is 10 lakh. 5 lakh, 5,000 equity shares of 100 each, 60 paid up is 3 lakh. 5,000 equity shares of 100 each, 50 paid up is 2,50,000. So one thing you can see here there is a partly paid share. Here shares are not fully paid. In that case, there is an adjustment. 15% debenture, either it is to be paid fully, or if it is not paid fully, you have to make it as a fully paid share by doing one adjustment. 15% debenture, 4 lakh, preferential creditor 1,05,000, bank overdraft 3,03,000, trade creditors 7,42,000. So total of the liability side 31 lakh. Asset side, land and building, plant and machinery, stock, book debts and profit and loss account is given. So now see the adjustment. Preference dividend is in arrear for 2 years, and as per article it is to be payable at the time of winding up of the company. So what do you mean by this? Preference dividend arrears must be paid after returning the preference share capital. So that information you need to see while solving the problem. By 31st March 2016, the assets were realized as follow. Land and building realized amount now they have given 9,84,000, land and building. Stock 1,63,000, plant and machinery 7,12,000, book debts 11,91,000. Expense of liquidations are 54,000. So that is nothing but liquidation expenses. The amount remuneration to the liquidator is 3% on the amount realized from the assets, and income tax payable on liquidation is 44,500. So income tax payable, whether it is preferential creditor or unsecured creditor, so tax must be paid before making any kind of payment. So it is a preferential creditor, assuming that the final payments are made on 31st March 2016. Prepare liquidator's final statement of account. So now see liquidator's final statement of account. Receipt and payment side. Now this do the format receipts side and payment side. So receipt side, cash and bank information nil, not given. Assets realized directly given in the problem. So enter that amount 30,50,000 directly they have given. And surplus from secured creditor. Surplus from secured creditor, there is no information nil. Contributory we will see later. Leave it as it is for the time being. Now go for payment side, secured creditor information, not there. Legal charges is also not mentioned. Liquidators remuneration. What about liquidators remuneration? They have said 3% on the amount realized. So total amount realized 30,50,000 on that 3%. So 50,000 into 3%, 91,500 liquidators remuneration. Liquidation expense directly given in the problem, 54,000. Enter that. Debenture holder. So what about debenture holder? Debenture holder must be paid along with the any outstanding interest up to the date, specific date. That is, final payments are made on 31st March. So up to that date, you need to calculate debenture holder outstanding interest. So 15% debenture given in the problem, that is 4 lakh. 4 lakh plus outstanding interest for 1 year. That is how to calculate outstanding interest. 4 lakh into 15%. So you will get 60,000. 4 lakh plus 60,000. 4 lakh 60,000 as a debenture holder having floating charges over all types of assets. Now preferential creditor. Preferential creditor, if you see the liability side, given 1,05,000 plus there is income tax payable, so that is also preferential creditor. 1,05,000 plus 44,500, 1,49,500 preferential creditor. Then unsecured creditor. Unsecured creditor also, if you see here, unsecured creditor, there is two information. Bank overdraft is also unsecured creditor, and trade creditor is anyways it is an unsecured creditor. So add both the value 3,03,000 plus 7,42,000, you will get unsecured creditor. So in this problem, unsecured creditor will not be your balancing figure. Then what about preference shareholder? There is arrears of dividend for 2 years. Preference share capital given in the problem is, what is a preference share capital? 10 lakh. 10 lakh is a preference share capital, and it is 12% cumulative preference shares. So what happens here? First, the preference share capital is returned to the preference shareholder. That is directly 10 lakh preference share capital. After that, arrears of dividend is paid. How to pay the arrears of dividend? 10 lakh into 12%, because class of preference share is 12% into 2 years. 2 years dividend is not paid. So you will get the amount that is 2,40,000. Total amount given to the preference shareholder along with the arrears of dividend is 12,40,000. So what about equity shareholder? Payment to the equity shareholder will be your balancing figure in this problem. So first you need to do certain working note. So I have already told you in this problem there is a partly paid share. So there is a working note you have to do or adjustment you have to do. So now when the shares are partly paid, calculation of distribution of surplus. So here if you see, first you need to calculate net surplus. How to calculate net surplus? Receipt minus payment side information. So receipt side, you don't know about contributory, so 30,50,000, 30,50,000 minus 30,40,000 on the payment side, because you don't know about equity shareholder information. So you will get 10,000. Add notional call. So here there is a concept of notional call. So what is a notional call? Notional call is nothing but imaginary call is being made. imaginary call is made to equalize the paid up value. How to equalize the paid up value here? So first you need to take the highest paid up value in this problem. Highest paid up value, here there are two classes of equity share. So two class 60 paid up and 50 paid up, which is highest here 60 paid up. So 60 paid up value is highest, so you need to take that as a base. So 60 minus 50. So if you do 60 minus 50, there is 10. So you can really easily now equalize the second class of equity share to 60. So 60 minus 50, 10. So 5,000 equity shares at 10. So that is 50,000. So add both net surplus and notional call, you will get total surplus. So what about preference shares? Preference shares, they have priority over equity shareholder. Unless and otherwise they have mentioned in the problem that they have no priority, then preference shares are treated as par with as par to the equity shareholder. So now you know total surplus. Now next then working note you need to do is share in total surplus. So there are two classes of equity shares of the same lot. Means number of shares are same, 5,000 equity shares and 5,000 equity shares, but paid up values are different. Paid up values are different. So do the one more working note, that is shares in total surplus. First is 5,000 equity share of class 1 and 5,000 equity share of class 2. So share in total surplus here, um, 30,000. Share in total surplus 30,000, and here also share in total surplus 30,000. How you have distributed the amount between two classes of shareholder? Total surplus is 60,000. Equity shares of first class 5,000. Equity shares of the second class is also 5,000. So you need to take the ratio. How to take the ratio? 5,000 is to 5,000. That is nothing but 1 is to 1. So now distribute the total surplus among both the class of shareholder, that is 30,000 and 30,000. Less notional call. For the first class of equity share, it is nil. Why? Why it is nil? Because it is taken as a base. Here paid up value is 60 and it is the highest paid up value, so it is taken as a base, so it is nil. But for the second shareholder, we have already calculated the notional call, and that is while calculation of distribution of surplus, that is 50,000. So less that amount. Now you finally will get amount payable or amount receivable. So amount payable in the case of first class of equity share is 30,000. If you get the positive amount, that means it is amount payable. And here in the for the second class of equity share, 30,000 and 50,000. So here there is a negative amount. Negative amount means amount receivable. Why minus 20,000 is an amount receivable? Because if you see share in total surplus is 30,000, but we have now imagined and we have called up the amount and we got 50,000. So there is an excess of 20,000. So whenever there is an excess of 20,000, it has to be added to the liquidator's final statement of account contributories as a contributory. So this 20,000 as treated as contributory. So contributory amount 20,000. And this positive amount 30,000 is an amount payable. Since there is a no notional call, it is an amount payable. So equity shareholder, you will get as 30,000. Now we want per share. Per share information, we want how to calculate per share. So both class of equity shares, number of equity shares are 5,000. So 30,000 divided by 5,000, you will get 6 per share. And in contributor also 20,000 divided by 5,000, you will get 4 per share. Why we want per share, I will tell you. Next, last thing you need to do is verification of net loss. Paid up amount 60 for first class of shareholder. Once you see here, paid up amount is 60 for the first class of shareholder, and paid up amount is 50 for the second class of shareholder. Last working note is verification of net loss 60 and 50, amount paid or received. So in the case of first shareholder, amount paid, that is payment made to the equity shareholder, 6, you get a paid up value that you need to deduct. And payable means deduct. And for contributory, we have added, so that is 4, that is amount receivable that you need to add to the original paid up value. So net loss must be equal to all classes of shareholder, that is 54 and 54. This answer must be equal for all classes of shareholder. So what is the basic rule? Suppose if there is partly paid share, you need to convert them into fully paid shares, and you need to see that After the alteration of after the adjustment, amount available must be equal to all classes of shareholder by making notional call. This is how you are going to solve the problem. And part 2 of the video will be uploading very soon. So thank you for watching. Have a good time.